You've heard the quote, "Don't judge a person until you walk a mile in their shoes." Well, today I want to put a little twist on that quote and ask you to turn it onto yourself. So let's get into that. Hello, lovely. I am Jaylene from Your Next 40 Years, and on this channel, I hold space and encourage midlife women to show up for themselves as fully as they show up for everyone else in their lives. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in and you want to be a part of that, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that you get notified each week when I put up a new video. Okay, so don't judge a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes. Essentially what that means is until you have lived a person's life, gained the perspective of their lived experiences, don't judge them. Don't project your limitations or your experiences onto them and the way that you perceive them through your lens, right? So we've all heard the saying, we all know generally what it means. But I think about this quote and I just thought like, man, that should apply to ourselves also, right? So myself, capital S, okay? So when I'm thinking about judging myself, I am the only person who has walked a mile and then some in my shoes. So absolutely, I should not take heed of anybody else's judgments or opinions on myself, capital S, right? I am the only one who has walked in my shoes. I am the only one whose opinion matters. So if you're not going to, the saying, don't judge a person until you've walked a mile in their shoes, that feels very like, yeah, absolutely, that makes perfect sense. When you flip the script and put it on yourself, it takes a little while to kind of wrap your mind around it. It took me a little while. I was like, yeah, like if I'm not judging everybody else and I'm, you know, being inclusive and accepting of everybody else and their lived experience and the things that they've been through, and I'm not putting judgment on them, why is it okay to put judgment on myself? It's not. I am the only one who's walked a mile in my shoes. I am the only one whose opinion matters. My opinion should be, needs to be positive, uplifting, patient, compassionate, and loving of myself, my journey, those shoes that I've walked a mile in. So that's really what I want to talk about today, because there's this kind of feeling of like validating yourself means that you're being selfish and you're only thinking about yourself and you're self-centered and this, that, and the other. But the truth of the matter is, you really are the only person who should be validating yourself, or at least the first person in your life who should be validating yourself, because you are the one who's walked the mile. You're the one who has gathered all of this moss as the rock rolls down the hill, all of these lived experiences that kind of culminate together and make you who you are. So absolutely, you should be the number one person validating yourself. So if you are of the mind that yes, of course, I am the number one person who should be validating myself, great. That's the first step, right? But further than that, it's not seeking outside approval as well. So showing up for yourself, validating yourself, and not looking for validation outside, being okay with your validation being the most important and the one that matters beyond all. So a little exercise that I like to do when I start to kind of feel myself looking outside of myself for validation is, what am I really hoping to get from them? So if I've got, you know, my hair did and my clothes on and whatever else, and I'm strutting through the house waiting for my husband to make a comment or whatever else, what is it that I'm looking to get from him? I'm looking to feel sexy, beautiful, attractive, right? Those are all kind of the feelings that I want to have from a comment that he might make about my appearance. So when you can really drill down what you're really looking for from that other person, you can go and give that to yourself. So go stand in the mirror and just say, you are beautiful. You are sexy. You are attractive. Give that to yourself. Those things that you're looking for from other people, give them to yourself. You are your number one. You have walked that mile in your shoes. Your opinion, your validation is the most important. So the next thing is to validate without shame, right? So once you can kind of wrap your mind around the fact that you are number one, you are the most important, that means that you can easily figure out what you're trying to get from other people, give it to yourself. That's enough. That's all that I need. I don't need your validation. If you happen to give it to me, that's fantastic. Thank you. I love you. We're connected. But I don't need it because I can give it to me. I can give that to myself. And to feel proud about self-validation rather than shameful, rather than feeling like, oh, I'm being so conceited, or I'm being so full of myself, or, you know, I'm being self-centered or whatever else. Feel proud of the fact that you are strong enough to be validated by self, by yourself. And basically what that means and what that takes is unhooking your feelings from other people. And this is a practice. This is a daily practice that, you know, you have to kind of work through. So for instance, I was at the park the other day and I am, you know, it's triple digits here. I'm sweating hot. The kids are out on the playground. There's a sprinkler park behind me. And I'm standing there thinking like, oh, I don't want to go over and get in the sprinkler park because who knows what, you know, people are going to think about me standing in the sprinkler park. I'm not a kid. I'm a grown up. You know, this whole dialogue is going on and on and on. And then all of a sudden self says to me, you take your behind over to the sprinklers and you get cooled off, because it doesn't matter what anybody else here thinks about you. It matters what you think about you. And in that moment, what I thought about me was, I am hot, I am uncomfortable, I am cranky, and I want to get cooled off. And I walked over and I got into the sprinkler park and I got completely drenched and felt fantastic. But I had this dialogue happening in my head about what's everybody else going to think. And so as I'm thinking about what everybody else is going to think, myself is getting, you know, smaller and weaker and quieter and more distant, and I can't quite hear her anymore because I'm looking for that external validation that, you know, oh, well, if somebody else goes in the sprinkler park who's a grown-up, then it's okay for me to go into. No, it's okay for me to because I said it's okay for me to. So when you can unhook, and like I said, this just happened to me last week. So this is a practice. This is something that you have to remind yourself about. But it is so freeing and so empowering. And it's not like, oh, I don't care what you think or whatever. It's not out of spite or revenge or anything negative like that. It's just from self-love. It's just from a place of love. I love myself. I honor myself. I'm hot and cranky. I'm going to take care of myself and go over and get into the sprinkler park and not worry, not be held back, not believe the story that I'm hearing in my mind about what everybody else will think. So it's a practice and a daily reminder to unhook yourself from everybody else and their opinions and the story that you tell yourself, worrying about what everybody else thinks. So what are some self-validation activities? How can you practice this on a daily basis, right? Like how do you know when this comes up? What do you do with it? What's the tactical kind of advice around this, right? So the first thing is really, the fact that you're watching this video means that you're interested in it in some way. You have some bit of awareness, something, your internal truth, source, universe connection has brought you to this topic. So there's something inside that's saying, I want to learn more about that, right? That's the first step. Just even kind of cracking open that part of you that's like, I want to know more about how I can just be there for myself and not have to worry about what anybody else is doing to make me feel good, right? So that's kind of the first step. And you're here, so you've taken the first step. Congratulations, that's amazing. The second step is really to be aware of what you're aware of. Think about what you're thinking about. Tune into your mind and kind of what happens in your mind all throughout the day. And this can be a little bit, well, it's very unfamiliar, first of all. It can be a little bit jarring and kind of unnerving, especially if you have an inner dialogue like I had, which is, I'm not safe, I'm not strong, I'm not good enough, I'm not, all the things. Like, it was just like, I'm a tiny little ant that's going to be stepped on at any moment, right? What does that breed? A ton of anxiety, like a ton of anxiety. It can be a little bit jarring at first, but, and you don't have to do it like all day long, obviously. Like, I couldn't do it for more than like a minute or two when I first started, like really tune into what was going on in my mind. It was very difficult and very scary for me to not kind of go onto autopilot, for me to be very mindful about what was happening in my mind, because what was happening in my mind was not healthy. It wasn't a healthy, happy, peaceful kind of environment, the way that it is mostly now. There are definitely still times when it's not healthy, but I also know how to kind of switch gears now. So, being aware of what you're thinking about, take, say, 2 minutes, set a timer on your phone, or make it the first thing you do in the morning, or make it the one thing that you do on your lunch break, or whatever it is, and just sit and listen to the thoughts in your mind. Something that really helped me be peaceful about the thoughts in my mind was meditation. I've had a daily meditation practice now for a year, and it helped tremendously. But if you can sit and just listen to the thoughts in your mind, there's no judgment. There's nothing that you have to do with them or about them. Just sit and be aware of them. And 2 minutes might be too long. Maybe you need to just do it for like 30 seconds. It's anything, any way that you need to approach this is the perfect way for you. And you do you and how you need to. But just sit and listen to the thoughts in your mind. And just practice this, every day for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, however long that you can. And then as you start to get kind of more and more aware of the thoughts in your mind, talk to yourself the way that you would a child. And just say, wow, there is so much going on in your life right now, and look at how amazing you are handling this. You have been so strong. I am so impressed with how great you're doing at life. You're just amazing. So I say these things to myself in that tone of voice, in my mind, sometimes out of my mouth. I say these things to myself because it's important to speak to yourself with the same love and respect and excitement and inspiration that you do the other people in your life. Another great self-validating task that you can do every day is journaling. And the key to all of this is there's nothing that needs to be done with any of it. There's nothing that is right or wrong. It's just allowing it all to kind of be. And a journal is a great tool for that because it's basically just a little vault where you can put all of the inner dialogue and nothing has to happen with it. It can just be in there. It's just a really awesome kind of freeing thing that you can give yourself to just have this little vault of inner dialogue kind of safe and tucked away. So self-validating is not selfish. You are the one who's walked a mile in your shoes. You are the one whose opinion matters above all else. So practice these little self-validating tricks and activities each day so that you slowly start to realize that that voice inside, that self, that person inside of you is just as important as everybody else in your life. Listen to her, connect with her, help her to feel heard and respected and loved. That's self-validation. It's all from a place of love. Love who you are and love yourself. And if you need a nifty little tool to help you be accountable to these tasks every day, go to yournext40years.com/ritual tracker and download the free tool that I have there that will help you to practice these activities each day and stay accountable to your self-love journey. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Please share this video with anybody that you think will resonate with it. Drop a comment and let me know what part was your favorite or if there's anything else that you would like for me to cover, and I will see you in the next video.